kids and kittens! Today I'll be designing some human versions of warrior cats, but just so we all start from the same page, here are all the designs I've previously made. We good? We good. I'm recording this the night after I finished and posted my Spider-Verse speed paint at like 3:30 a.m. in the morning, should I add? Which means I'm still a little bit sick, I'm sorry, for my voice. I did run to the doctor as soon as the Spider-Verse speed paint was uploaded, and they told me I had a sinus infection that spread to my ears, which, ew. And they prescribed me with 3 different medications and said, do you want to get some shots while you're here too? And I said, boy, do I love those things, and cowered in fear while I waited for the nurse to return with the needles I was about to be jabbed with. And I pulled up my sleeves and hyped myself up to take it like a man, and the nurse said, lower your shorts, and threw everything off. And I got 2 shots in my ass, for my nose and my ears. No idea how that works out, but oh well, it's been 24 hours, and I'm not out of the woods yet, but I feel so much better, and I'm leaving on my road trip in 30 minutes. Hey, maybe I can talk on topic now. Hi, you clicked to see Warriors. I've had a Tumblr going on for a while now that, let's be real, I post very sporadically too, and that's being nice. Link in the description if you want to see it, but it's human-warriorcats.tumblr.com. I started making the designs to host a whole GinjaNinjaOwO multi-animator project, but I don't host maps anymore. So for now, they're just for fun. I might animate my own parody one day, or maybe I'll host an Amino collab with them. I don't know. We shall see. Amino collab sounds fun, actually. So my design process for all these was minimal. I had some characters listed out, and I slapped down a base sketch for each one, all at once with a few reference colors, and planned to go back and make final adjustments one at a time. So most of the characters were very on the spot with little to no revisions. Some characters like Ashfur and Scourge and Cinderpelt and Hawkfrost I've dabbled with designs before, but I didn't really reference those old designs. Instead, I based them off of my memory of those designs. Does that make sense? Everyone else was made up on the spot. I've also been trying to push my different face and body types, which I feel like has some pretty mixed results. Since I'm still learning body types, I tend to reuse them a lot, so it's like different but also existing. And also, since I'm still figuring it out, I have a tendency to exaggerate some features a little too much. Hopefully I can make some good ground on this particular area in 2019, baby! So of course Longtail needed a long ponytail. Side note, I am forever pissed that Longtail was never described as having a long tail, but motherfucking Tallstar was. The fuck? Anyway, I ended up making Longtail like super femme, but whatever. I tend to reuse colors as much as I can, so I made his undershirt match his eyes and his shoes match his hair. Picturing him like this getting into a fist fight with Rusty is actually sorta really silly, but I can see the design fitting his true personality that comes out when Tiger Star fucks off. One of the weirdest aspects of these designs is actually the Warrior's jacket being a set color, because my automatic reaction is to make everything from like the skin and the hair and all the clothes, everything in the design like go together. And with these Human Warriors designs, I have to slap on the same jacket and just run with it, and I'm stuck. Darkstripe aged ugly because he's ugly inside and he sucks. And I only really designed him because it's hard to do a scene in the first arc without him, and I'd like to draw some book scenes eventually, so just gotta bite the bullet. As you can probably tell by evidence of all my other designs, I'm not super great with very masculine characters. Not yet, anyway. His clothes were hard. I gave him some sweat stains because he is one. And I don't totally think this suits his personality. I need to brush up on my men's clothing in general because he was tricky. I started off trying to give him a dress shirt and a tie, but that was dumb because he's not that proper. And also ties and these warrior jackets don't mix. So he's got 2 ambiguous layered shirts and some random ass boots. Big villain of the forest, foiled Firestar, final boss of the first arc. And what do? Scourge shops at Hot Topic. This was actually super deliberate. I wanted BloodClan to stick out from any of the forest characters like a sore thumb, And what better way than loud patterns in super saturated colors? But also the Hot Topic joke was a little too funny to pass up. I meant to include this, but I totally forgot. I wanted to give Scourge a holster on his string bean thigh because BloodClan actually uses guns in my version of Human AU. Any Forest character uses normal ass like melee weapons like knives or their fists or whatever, you know? And guns are exclusive to BloodClan. That was my justification for Scourge taking Tiger Star out in one blow. StarClan looked at the gun wound and said, I don't know, you're fucked. Picking out Scourge's colors were kinda wild since they were all over the place. I tried to use the main colors that always pop up in his collar debates, and I know the white paw is one of his front paws, but instead I gave him one white shoe. For some reason I was tempted to make them checkered, but instead what I did was I gave him a white Sharpie and I let him draw the checkered pattern on the black shoe, like I used to see kids doing in middle school all the time. And then I gave him a bunch of studded jewelry and fake teeth necklaces. Ashfur, I know, I kinda took a joke path with Scourge, but no, I refuse to give Ashfur a fedora. Go away. Oops, guess I forgot to record him. Carrying on. For Brightheart, I imagine her hair was a bit more wild and in her face before, but I like the idea of her having a Violet Parr moment where she comes to terms with her scars and pulls her hair back so she isn't hiding anything. And then she dresses up anyway because she likes to be cute, and she is cute. And she and her sister both have flower accessories to be sisters, and fun fact, before recording this speed paint, I did not know that Brightheart and Cinderpelt were related at all. At least, that's what the Warriors Wiki told me, so let's hope that's reliable. I haven't read these books in well over 6 years, and I will not be held accountable for anything I forget. Anyway, yeah, Brightheart gets bright colors. There's probably a period as Lost Face where she wore super dull clothes and hid away, or maybe even borrowed Cloudtail sweats to quote-unquote hide in, but once she got her new name, she got more comfortable with herself and she started dressing more like this. I keep referencing outfits you guys haven't even seen yet, jeez, I'm sorry. Talking about sweats, with Cloudtail, I fell into my old ways. Quick sidetrack, I accidentally made his legs too short! I was struggling a bit with what clothes to give him, and then all at once I realized he was born in sweatpants and will probably die in them. I made him a bit chunkier, but kept Firestar's base features just fuller, since they're pretty closely related. He doesn't mind being chunky though. It makes it easier to hide his snacks in his jacket, and nobody will question him about it. I bet he's a Cheeto dude. And the shoes that I gave him are supposed to be super comfy and practically slippers. Designing his hair was weird. Other than the shape of it, I didn't want it to be just white, so I tried to make it like a platinum blonde, but I didn't intend for him to look albino, so y'all can be the judge of that. I also threw a blue hoodie on him, because why not? Blue seems to be the theme of this design batch, so when in Rome. Now for Cinderpelt, my favorite character. I love her. I tried to make her look like Brightheart since they're allegedly sisters. I tried to give them little chubby bellies, but it's hard to tell once I added clothes, so whoops. I had some doodles of Cinderkit putting flowers in Lionheart's beard before, so I had her continue the tradition in her own hair and to pretty up her leg split. In a beta design I did years ago, I had her cover her, what are they called? Walker sticks? No, I know they have a name. Crutches! Her crutches! I had her cover her crutches in stickers, but the more I thought about it, the less I can picture them having access to any stickers, let alone enough for Cinderpelt to hoard. So, nix that, just added the flowers instead. I also added a knee brace to her that you see athletes use because I wanted like makeshift general leg supplies. I know most people don't know how to draw a cat with a mangled leg, but a person with a mangled leg felt way harder than it should have, especially when I imagine their medical supplies are really limited. So in my imaginary land Human AU, once her leg mostly healed up, Yellowfang just slapped all these different braces on her and said, "Never use that again," and she cried. The first design I sketched out for Leopard Star was ugly, and I hated it, but also I felt like there wasn't enough variety between the 4 girls I had. Like, I had men's body types all over the place, and it's more so my choice of ladies that wasn't terribly diverse, but I still felt like a sham for not having any of them look terribly unique. so I swapped directions with Leopard Star entirely. I much prefer this direction. Before, she didn't quite look intimidating or commanding, she just looked odd. And the muscle definition wasn't working out, and the hair wasn't quite right. So I just kept a few things, overhauled the rest. I wasn't sure about what clothes I was gonna do going in, but I knew she'd have thigh-high boots regardless. I don't know, I like it. I haven't designed Sasha yet, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna be Asian, so either way, I know Hawkfrost and Mothwing are gonna be mixed. So Hawkfrost's hair is a bit looser than his dad's, and his skin tone lightens up a bit, but he has dad's dimples. Also, his pose summarizes a personality he got from my version of Tiger Star, and I think this series is so much more fun when Tiger Star and Hawkmoth are stupid, cocky assholes. I mixed his pants up a bit. I'm not sure what these would be called. I guess they're kind of like a polyester-esque fabric with lots of zippers. In his old concept designs, people compared him to David Diggs, and I ain't mad at that. Mothwing. I keep accidentally calling her Moth Pool. You know, the state of the community. Jeez. I gave her essence of Dad's cleft chin. I gave her lots of yellows to go with the moth theme that started with her headband, but it started screaming sunflower to me at some point. So when I went to go make her tights, they ended up being floral as an end result. But the inner white on the tights kind of looks like cat markings. So now I feel like I should come full circle and go design some warrior cats, but base them off of my human designs for them instead of like the book designs. What a twist. And with that, we're done. With this batch at least, 10 whole designs. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully my voice wasn't too annoying. Sorry, I'm still a little bit kind of sick at the time of recording this. Bye guys, have a nice day.